So apologies for our technical difficulties, but we're back here at Concord Stadium just about 3 minutes into this match in the first half. Still 0-0, Bowling Green and Ohio State, but a couple really good Buckeye opportunities that forced Enzo Gio to make a couple of big saves, Noah.
Yeah, and Enzo Gio definitely out there making some good saves. Like you mentioned, he did it a few times last year. It's been between Gio and the other goalkeeper for the Falcons, Jason Ball. They both had good outings during the fall, and now they're just trying to see who comes out on top in the spring league.
Well, if you remember, actually, on Friday, they played all three keepers, Eric Nichols did, with Enzo Gio, Jason Ball, and Will Schutte. We get to the starting lineup for Bowling Green. Enzo Gio will remain in goal. Gus Peacock, Sal Rios, and Xavier Sims are the three center backs, and the two holding midfielders, Joshua Saavedra and Mads Christensen. The attacking mid spot is Calais Ramos, who didn't play that spot in the fall, no, if you remember. He was kind of one of the two holding mids. And on the wings, they have Aiden Patasic, redshirt junior, next year, and then redshirt freshman Diego Ramirez, who didn't play at all in this past season, but is getting the start left wing back once again. And then the two strikers up top, Tyson McCoy and Rajko Badurov. And Badurov playing as a striker for just one of the few times in his Falcon career. Gio has to pump this one over the top as a Buckeye was pressuring.
Yeah, and one thing that you mentioned a lot, there's a lot of freshmen on this team that are getting big minutes in this spring league, just trying to see where everyone fits. You talked about Diego Ramirez, too, having not being able to play during the fall league, getting a shot now.
Indeed, and for Bowling Green, they're kind of short on the defense. Only three natural center backs, really, and Xavier Sims will attempt this one. We'll take a quick step aside here for station identification.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
So back here for this one, Bowling Green couldn't get that one, so it'll be a Buckeye throw-in. And no, this is an Ohio State team that, like you mentioned, they were the number one team in the country in 24 and went all the way to the Final Four in the College Cup and carried North Carolina losing to Marshall, and then just had a pretty disappointed season last year and looking to kind of rebuild. They're losing a lot of key guys, and see up there as Bowling Green plays the ball all the way back to Rios that they're being pressured by a former Northern Kentucky striker, Isaiah Chisholm, junior forward.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the Buckeyes did lose a lot of key guys, but so did the Falcons, losing Bennett Painter into the transfer portal to Indiana and then Trace Terry into the league. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on here today.
Long ball over the top was looking for Calais Ramos. He has shouldered off the ball. It's still here for the Falcons near here to the right wing. It's Bodurov, who moves in the middle. Passes all the way to the left center back, Gus Peacock. Peacock all the way to the far side of Ramirez. Ramirez on his right foot will curl this one in the box, looking for McCoy, not cleared. Only as far as Ramos, top of the 18, and tries to scoop this one forward. And coming out to that one to scoop it up was Patrick McLaughlin, the now redshirt sophomore keeper from Broadview Heights, Ohio, and the former St. Ignatius Wildcat.
Yeah, and one thing that's really important to know about the Falcons during the spring league is that Rajko Badurov was a lot more of a facilitator during that fall season because you had Painter and you had Terry up there being able to score the goals for the Falcons. But this year, head coach Eric Nichols is still trying to figure out who is going to be that scorer, and Rajko Badurov might be one of them.
Yeah, and that's what the spring league is all about, is trying to just figure things out and see what could work for the fall. As Sims plays a pass down the right wing looking for Badurov and McCoy. It's cleared away one time from a Buckeye. That was number 12, Joe Damien, senior defender from Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah, and you brought up McCoy up there as well with Badurov. Those are the two guys that I'm sure head coach Eric Nichols and every Falcon fan is going to be looking forward to try and get some of those goals and see what they can be made of for this fall.
Bowling Green go all the way out here to the far side. Diego Ramirez gets on this one. Passes it forward to McCoy, lays it off. Ramirez trying to use his speed. Touched a little bit too strong. They'll go all the way back to McLaughlin, and he'll pump this one forward. Chisholm heads this one down. Was looking for Aaron Hurge, who's wearing the number 10 jersey. He was wearing number 13 last season, and now he's being tasked as one of the chance creators for the Buckeyes. Ramos gets on this one in the midfield, couldn't link up with McCoy. It's turned back over to Ohio State. Far side, Will Arneson. Arneson looking forward to the former Wildcat forward, and that's nicely snuffed out there from Christensen.
Yeah, and one guy that did touch the ball there for the Buckeyes was Martin Warsmith. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about him yet, but the former Evansville player Falcons played against them last season. Obviously didn't go the way the Falcons wanted.
Yeah, Werschmidt really taking over for Nick McHenry. He's a former Buckeye defender that transferred to Indiana along with Bowling Green's Bennett Painter, and kind of seems to be one of the mainstays at the center back spot. And you and I called that game when Evansville came here to Bowling Green last season. And I think he won every aerial duel there was to win for someone who was a bit undersized as a center back, but his aerial presence and his vertical is one amongst the best.
Yeah, and that's something hard to do against a player like Trace Terry. Obviously, you see that he's in the league now, so definitely can keep up with any type of talent.
Yeah. So Andre Roberts, the right back for Ohio State, stepping in. He goes right to the foot of Joshua Saavedra, who goes back to Rios, and they'll work this along the back line now to the foot of Xavier Sims, who went a near 90 minutes against Ashland. Current status right now, 3 shots for the Buckeyes, and when we were off air for a few minutes, there were a couple big saves that Enzo Gio had to make, and you can imagine that number 1 spot still open for grabs, but Gio getting the start once again, at least to open up. So Durov has that one snuffed out. This one's going to fall its way to Patasic on the right wing. Saavedra will clip this one all the way to the left side for Ramirez. Ramirez settles it down into Ramos. Ramos crosses into the box. It's dealt with well, and Christensen will take a shot that is sliced. It's going to stay in play here on this near side corner flag. Patasic in a physical battle, and that's well worked there from Damien. Still alive for Bowling Green. Saavedra in a battle with Hurd. Sims steps in and wins it. And Sims was clipped up there. Bowling Green able to earn a foul. That's a good step in there from the still freshman center back, but he'll be entering his second season with the Falcons in the fall.
Yeah, and Sims never really got a chance to make his mark last season, so getting a chance to do so in the spring league, seeing what he can do for the fall is going to be key.
Well, if you remember, too, Sims played wingback, too, when he came in. He didn't even play his natural center back position, so now he's playing where he'll probably all likely end up starting as long as all things remain the same next season. So it'll be a free kick for Bowling Green with Sal Rios on his left foot and Aiden Patasic. Rios floats in the box looking for Peacock. Couldn't get to it. He's going to fall to Badura, who takes the left-footed shot, and it sails over the crossbar.
Yeah, and similar there, going to see a lot of shots coming out of Badurov and McCoy tonight. Definitely not the exact shot that Badurov wanted, just a little bit too high.
Badurov there scored against Ashland last Friday. He also played for the Flint City Bucks in the U.S. Open Cup a couple of weeks ago to get some experience. He'll be a junior next year, and all likelihood, no, you mentioned he was one of the facilitators. It'll be interesting to see what his role is, but he's playing one of the goal scorers up top for Bowling Green, so we'll see what Nicholas has in store for him in the fall. Here comes Ohio State here, a couple of flicks on. Chislow comes way into the box, now goes to the outside. Sims and Peacock both meet, and it's going to be a throw-in all the way to the far side for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and you mentioned Badurov being a junior and kind of being one of the leaders on this team. Along with that is going to be Mads Christensen. I kind of pictured him more of as a leader last year already as is, so coming into this season, definitely going to have to take a lot of that home.
Skubis cross to the back post, and that's looking for the left winger of Arneson, and it's covered up from Gio, who looks to go quick. Sprays this one long for Badurov. He's tracked down from Hurd here on this touch line. We'll dribble around and hold the ball. Now gets it here to the right wing still with Patasic. Patasic, again, getting our start on the right wing back spot. Saavedra get it to Christensen. And Saavedra will go back to Sims. This is nice one-touch passing here for Bowling Green. Patasic threw the ball forward for Ramos. Here's Ramos, and he completely mishits the cross, and it sails out of bounds and out of Cochran Stadium.
Yeah, and Cochran Stadium down to its bones right here. No signs up around, but still feels like a soccer vibe, to say the least, Lucas.
Definitely does. Definitely spring league form, for all things considered. McLaughlin will play this goal kick short. Here's Roberts on the far side. It's blocked out of bounds off of Ramirez. And Diego Ramirez is an interesting one because he had to take his red shirt, Noah, this past season, not playing a single minute. Someone who's listed as a defender, but he's playing what Andrew Schaefer's position was, that left winger, so left wing back spot, and we'll see what he can do there. He's predominantly right-footed on the opposite side, but he seems to have a lot of space.
Yeah, and it's probably something that Ramirez took a lot of time to study what Schaefer was doing last season, taking his red shirt, able to figure some stuff out.
Bardura moves inside the box, makes a long dribble around. McLaughlin comes out and just pokes it away. McCoy trying to pick up the rebound. It's still alive for Ohio State. And now they'll eventually deal with it away. Bowling Green will remain with it, but that was quite the dribble inside from Badurov.
Yes, it was getting a shot to show off his moves.
Badurov trying to one-time flick to Cerveja. Cerveja trying to keep this one in play. Batasik now to the touchline, crosses into the box, looking for the foot of McCoy. It falls all the way to a Buckeye who just one-time clears it up and away. Rios steps in to keep it in play. It falls to Arneson. Now Arneson with some speed as the Buckeyes look to counter. But across this one, over to the near side, and that one will go out of play. That was looking for Chisholm. Passes a little bit too much on that one. Bowling Green now back on the other way. Ramirez on the left wing. Ramirez, long cross, dribble into the box for Roberts. First touch there. Can't keep it in play. Corner kick coming up for Bowling Green, their first one tonight.
And you mentioned Chisholm getting the touch up there towards the Falcon side. The former Kentucky Wildcat gets a shot here in the Big Ten with the Buckeyes.
Yes, about 31 minutes left here in the first half at Cochran Stadium. It's the first corner kick in for Bowling Green. This will be on the right foot of Badurov. It'll be an in-swinging ball on the far side. Badurov puts his hands up, signals, gives Ramirez short if he wants him. And Arneson comes over to kind of cover up that line of pass. Got a couple of bodies stack up. Bowling Green's in their white uniforms, Ohio State in their all red. As Badurov puts the ball into the box, that's Warschmidt up to win that header. Ramirez puts it back in. Ramos flicks it up. Badurov's still there, still alive in the box, and Warschmidt just deals away with it. And that's a familiar sight where we used to see in the fall. Warschmidt, again, first to win the header.
Yeah, it happened plenty of times last season. Doing it again here in Cochran Stadium.
So still alive for the Falcons as that ball was booted by all the way to the doit almost.
Something that's not getting a lot of action right now, unlike the Cochran Stadium.
They are not indeed. Long throw in here on the far side. Gus Peacock puts it in. A header was won there over the top there from Justice Olatondo. And Olatondo, who didn't score actually in their last outing on the Spring League, wins that header. Gus Peacock will do it again here on the far side. Peacock in the box. Olatondo again. First to meet that header. Ohio State trying to play out. Ramos comes away with it, and he gets nicked there on the clearance, and it will be a foul rewarded. And Ramos will remain down. This will be a good free kick opportunity right at the top of the 18-yard box for Bowling Green and well within striking range.
Yeah, and Lucas, I know you said that it looked like he was clipped, but it definitely almost looked like it was non-contact. It is a little bit scary on the field.
It definitely is. And Ramos slow to his feet, gets up on one leg and now up on both. And he'll slow gingerly walk off. And for Bowling Green, this is, what would you say, about 20 yards out, maybe a little bit more. It's really close to the top of the box. You have Rios, Batasik, Badurov all standing over the ball. You have the left foot of Rios or the right foot of Badurov or Batasik.
Definitely doing their best to fool the Buckeyes here.
We'll see who it will be. Our referee now will blow its whistle. It will be Badurov over the wall and into the hands of McLaughlin. He got the angle that got over the wall, but didn't have the power, and McLaughlin read that one all the way. So not a lot of trouble there.
Yeah, and definitely was the right shot to take. Just couldn't get it into the right spot. Buckeyes goalkeeper able to stick around.
Long ball at the top. This is looking for a Buckeye, and it goes out of play. That was Scubis. And it's a lot of Ohio State players that didn't play a lot of minutes for them in the fall. They graduated a lot. They also lost a lot in the transfer portal, but there's also a team that so far this fall, or this spring I should say, have had 6 transfers. I mentioned Warschmidt from Evansville, Chisholm from Kentucky, Ryan Hinosh from Butler is also a key pickup as well. They're really excited about.
Yeah, and that's one of those reasons why the Buckeyes are so happy to be in this spring league. They get a chance to see all their new talent, all their young talent, but also their transfer talent.
Well, Bowling Green hasn't played Ohio State in the regular season since 22, where Ohio State won here at Cochran Stadium 1-0. They played back-to-back years in the spring league final game at Historic Crew Stadium. Ohio State won those 3-0 and 4-1, and what is basically their backyard at Columbus Crew's old stopping grounds. Bowling Green on this one here on the left wing, Ramos and Warschmidt battling. It was last off for Ramos, and it'll be a goal kick for Ohio State coming up.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Buckeyes right around historic Crew Stadium, so definitely makes sense they had a little bit of home field advantage last time that happened.
Bowling Green will play Akron next week at Akron for their final spring league game, and then they'll play the final of the competition at historic Crew Stadium on April 11th. That's a flying challenge on Christensen from Chisholm that was a bit late. Savagia went down as well. This is right by the center circle, and Chisholm we got a talking to from our head official.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Chisholm go up there and make sure Christensen was okay. Definitely two guys that their teams don't want them to get injured during this time.
Here's Peacock on this left center back spot. And interesting enough, he's always been on the right during his time at Bowling Green. Was in the middle last spring and parts of the year, but they're getting him on the left as Rios has really commanded that middle of the back three position, despite being predominantly left-footed. And they seem to really like Sims in the right center back spot. And also it's Gus Peacock, who will be entering his final year as a senior next year for Bowling Green, but someone who just hasn't been healthy all last season. Really, you go back to the game against Michigan where he got hurt. He never really was healthy. Could never get back into full shape by the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that's just to point out another reason why the spring league is so nice for him. Specifically, gets a shot to get out here and test the wheels.
Handball there on Tyson McCoy, who basically volleyball spiked the ball down, and I believe he gets a yellow card. And actually, nope. I think his hand was up. Look like it from my reflection.
Could have been. The sun is slowly going down over here, so could have looked yellow.
Well, McCoy was also one of the few strikers that really played for Bowling Green. If Trace Terry Bennett Painter needed a breather, but he didn't get any starts. He had a handful of minutes. Created a penalty kick in one of the games with the Falcons, but Nichols talked about post-game against Ashland last week that he's excited to give McCoy basically what he deserves and give him a couple more starts.
Yeah, that's definitely what McCoy wants as well. He wants a shot to get some goals in and be able to just feel like he's helping out the team.
Here's McCoy with some pressure. Schmidt goes all the way back. Olotundo to the left back spot here at Damien. Arneson gets a touch into the midfield. Ramos stepped in, wins the ball. Patasic recycles it to Cerveja. Goes forward, takes a deflection. Badurov stays on this one. Good tackle, Olotundo. Christian looks to go back to Badurov. Badurov still with it. Rajko Badurov now spins around looking for an option. Gets bounced off. It's surrounded by red jerseys from the right wing and just gets it back to Sims. Badurov again. Saavedra knocked out from Hurge. Christensen Ramos flicked on McCoy looking for it, and a last touch from Werschmidt. There'll be another corner kick coming up for the Falcons.
Yeah, and you mentioned 4 Buckeyes around Badurov, and that kind of makes sense for Ohio State. They know that Badurov is one of those guys that are going to be able to score. One of the few guys that you do know is capable of scoring on this Falcon team, so it makes sense to have 4 guys on him.
It'll be Badurov again on the far side, so the same exact spot bowling his first corner. This time the Falcons are going to crowd McLaughlin. So party in the box, and right around the 6-yard box of McLaughlin with all players surrounding him. Badurov, out-swinging ball. Sims looking for it. Werschmidt first to get that one. Here's Badurov, still with it. On that far side as well, Badurov works his way in the box, cuts it with his right foot, goes around, falls down. Hurst comes away with it. Ohio State looking to counter.
Yeah. One thing that did happen over there was the corner kick that we haven't really talked about is the Falcons are going to have to figure out who's going to be taking a lot of those corner kicks. Andrew Schaefer was the one who predominantly took those last season.
Here's Hurge for Ohio State. We'll slow up the play on this left wing all the way to midfield and now all the way out to the right wing. Victor Labite, number 4 for Ohio State, got his first couple touches there, playing defensive mid for the Buckeyes. Another transfer as well. As they look to play long here, and it goes all the way out to the foot of Enzo Gil. We'll get this one to Sims. About 22 minutes and 30 seconds left, still 0-0, Bowling Green, Ohio State. Here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Long ball at the top, looking for Badurov and McCoy. Easy there from Damien. All the way to the right side of Andre Roberts. Roberts moves his way forward, now makes a run up. Blocked there from Christensen. Ramos to Saavedra. And Rios will get this one to Peacock. And really outside of those handful of Ohio State chances, Noah, in those first few minutes, there hasn't been a whole lot for them, really. A couple of attacks have just broke down. So besides a shaky start for the Falcons, it's really been mostly them in the Buckeyes territory and trying to create some opportunities, but still looking to get that opening goal.
Yeah, and you said it as well as anyone could. The Falcons have been taking control of this game completely. Majority of the game has been played on that half of the field.
And often Mitz hits the pass, goes out of bounds. Pitasic looking to throw it in quickly, does so. Ramos bumped up the ball, but a foul there from LeBite.
Aaron Hurd's not too happy about that call there.
And he's not. Both teams haven't made a sub yet. There's about 21 minutes left in the first half.
And I think in some cases, Lucas, that could make sense in the sense of maybe you just make all your subs in the second half, like as soon as you come out of the break, but I guess we'll have to see.
Indeed we will. This will be Rios and Pitasic. And a similar spot to the first free kick in the first half. But it appears to be Rios. And indeed it will. Pitasic runs over the ball. Rios is left foot across into the box. Header first one from Ohio State and then clear from Arneson and goes right to the center circle for Christensen. Here's Rios again. Rios floats it long, a little bit short there. Read well from Ohio State, now looking to counter. Out to Roberts. Here's Andre Roberts. Chased down from Pitasic. Roberts, left-footed through ball, looking for Arneson. Rios, nice line challenge there to stop that attack for Ohio State. Still alive. Arneson, nice backheel pass. Roberts crossing the box and handled there from Enzo Gio to come off his line to intercept that cross.
Yeah, and Buckeyes definitely had their best opportunity since those first few minutes, and saw Rios just doing a great job with that little slide block.
That was a right back, Roberts, who made his run all the way to the left wing to create something.
Slowly making his way back there to that position.
This will be Peacock on the far side once more. LeBite will go all the way back again. One-time clearance, McLaughlin. Looking for Peacock, going to win the header. It's out to Rios. Rios will one-time clear it. McCoy. Flag stays down for now. Never mind. Flag goes up. I think the Falcons wanted an offside or a handball on one Buckeye. It wasn't called.
Yeah, and I definitely saw that too, Luke, as a possible handball there. But one way or the other, Rico Badurov was definitely offsides for the Falcons.
So you have 3 Buckeyes coming in here when we have a chance. We'll see who they are in a moment's notice. Still no Falcons and no changes yet for head coach Eric Nichols.
So we quickly do get that answer there. There will be 3 Buckeyes coming in, like you mentioned. Don't know if the Falcons will make a sub until the end of the half, just assuming that Enzo Gio isn't going to play the whole game either.
And nobody warming up for Bowling Green as well. This will be Ohio State possession along the back line, long pass for Damian. Had a nice little curve. It's intercepted from Pitasic. Now Badurov with some space. Badurov got his head up. Hurd's tracking him down from behind and taking away there from Damian. That was good teamwork defending and a great track back there from Hurd.
Yeah, and once again, 3 Buckeyes just corralling Badurov. Not much he could do there.
Long ball looking for Chisholm. Does well chest it down. Wins the size battle with Rios. Sliding challenge in the middle. Diego Ramirez wins that one. Sends McCoy. McCoy. That's first touch. Up to right wing, Pitasic. Pitasic through ball, Badurov. Badurov, McCoy, one-time passing. Nice little 1-2. Badurov looking for it. Just a bit too strong, and it goes out of bounds.
And you know, one thing that we haven't really talked about with number 9, Isaiah Chisholm up there at the front for the Falcons. He's a really big guy out there in the front. Kind of makes the defenders of the Falcons look a little bit small.
Indeed, they do. A couple of changes coming in as Christian Baumgartner, former DePaul player will come in at the left back spot along with Niall Wall, 6'1", Miami of Florida forward. See who the other one was coming in here at a moment's notice. Didn't see. Number 26, Cole Evans, redshirt sophomore from Springboro, Ohio. He's been with the Buckeyes now for 3 seasons. It'll be 4 in the fall, and has had to fight for all of his appearances. And right after a couple of Buckeyes made their subs, you have Sawyer Wilbanks, Adine Ibrahimovic, and Bradley Popple warming up for Bowling Green.
Yeah, and it just looked like head coach Eric Nichols just waiting for the Buckeyes to sub a few guys in before getting his guys ready.
Throwing Ohio State far side, about 16 minutes and some change left here in the first half. Still 0-0 Bowling Green, Ohio State for college spring league action here at Cochran Stadium. Here's Bedurov, Saavedra for Ramos. Ramos was in space. Ramos takes a shot that's deflected. McCoy won the pass, and it rolls right to McLaughlin. Interesting choice, to say the least.
Yeah, Ramos definitely wanted to get a shot on goal there. Just got unlucky that it was tipped.
Well, I think Bowling Green's had majority possession, really, and they've found good pockets of space and good looks with the Buckeyes defense. It's just the quality of chances haven't always been there. They've had huge chances on goal for McLaughlin, but nothing that has really tested them.
Yeah, and once again, one of the biggest parts of that is Reko Bedurov just kind of getting triple or quad teamed by the Buckeyes at every chance possible. So even if, knowing that he is more of a facilitator, he's not even getting a chance to facilitate if everyone's around him.
Gets thrown from Andre Roberts. Chisholm, and he's hacked that from behind from Gio Ramirez. What have you made of Ramirez on that far side? We didn't see him at all, really, outside of a couple of scrimmage games before the head of the 2025 season. What have you made of at least your first half watching him play soccer?
Yeah, it definitely looks like he hustles hard. He has a lot of speed over there on that side, and I think he could be very helpful with the guys up front, knowing that Bedurov is going to be up front a lot more, whereas Ramirez is going to have to take over kind of that role that he had last year.
Crossing the box, looking for Arneson for Ohio State. It was just a little bit too strong. Here's Baumgartner, cross to the back post, looking for Chisholm, and it's off the outside netting. That was Cole Evans on that right wing who got the final touch but couldn't redirect that one on goal.
Yeah, and it's almost hard up here to know if that was actually in or not. It almost looked like it was in because just where the netting was, but Buckeyes unable to capitalize.
Definitely a dangerous cross floated in. It was just above the head of Chisholm, and you did mention it's a little bit of undersized center backs for Bowling Green, and Rios, while he's probably one of the smartest players on the team for Bowling Green IQ-wise and just really good command to the back three, he's not the tallest, so he's got to be perfect at timing his aerial battles and headers, which he normally is good at, but it's even harder when you go up against a player that is a couple inches taller than you.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a lot with height in those defensive players, and Martin Warschmidt is a great example of that, not always having the height advantage, but still being able to get those plays.
Here comes Bowling Green on the attack. McCoy is looking for it. Roberts bounces it off of Falcon. Here's Chisholm. Go out to Roberts. Through the ball forward, cut off there from Peacock. And right into Bedurov. Christensen looking to track it down, goes to the foot of Saavedra. He's being pressured there from Wall, the new sub, and Saavedra and Evans in a tangle there on that far side. It'll be a foul, though, on Saavedra in favor of the Buckeyes.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it was more towards Saavedra. I do think that he just tripped and it's kind of all fell down from there, but Buckeyes ball either way.
This pass right to the foot of Christensen. Here's Ramos. Saavedra, nice spin move. Here's Peacock. That one booted in the air. Ramirez looking through. Couldn't get a Falcon in on goal. Chisholm gets it. Deflects that one off Peacock and earns a throw on the far side.
Yeah, and one thing to notice about Andre Roberts is those very neon green shoes, cleats that he is wearing. It's definitely, you could tell where he's at no matter what.
Definitely can, indeed. Ohio State still on the attack, but Tasick's clearance right top of the box to Wall, who takes a shot. Deflected by Sims. Chisholm picks up the deflection and he puts it wide of goal to the left stick of Enzo Gil, and that could have been a lot more dangerous for Ohio State and way worse for Bowling Green, but Chisholm could have put that one on frame.
Yeah, Enzo Gil charged right up at Chisholm. Definitely had the left side of the net opened, just couldn't connect.
Maybe wasn't expecting it off the deflection, but could have put that one on net, the former Wildcat.
Yeah, it's one of those things from Gil that you have to realize you might be giving up that side of the netting, but if you stay back, it leaves him with a lot less pressure.
Here's Sims, and just way off the mark of Batasic, just kicked out of bounds.
Yeah, and those type of miscommunications are going to happen in the spring league, Lucas. It's not in the fall yet. You're not in season purely, so still working out some of the kinks, of course.
Here's Warschmidt. That pass cut off well from Ramirez. Here's Dio Ramirez. Through ball forward, looking for Badura. The angle just a bit off. Cleared away there. That was taken from Olarundo.
Yeah, and like you mentioned there, the angle was just a little bit off. Kind of going back to the idea of what happened over here for the Falcons, just not being on the same page. And that's something that comes with time playing together, which is something that not a lot of people on this orange and brown team, or for the Buckeyes matter, have done.
Indeed, they have. It'll be Roberts on the throw-in. We'll see if the three Falcons do get in. If they do, we'll have just about under 11 minutes to play. We got 10:40 left in the first half and counting. Zeros between Bowling Green and Ohio State. This pass takes a deflection. Now Arneson tracking and Gio way off his line and almost halfway point midfield and just punts that one away.
And just try to do as much as he can, get the ball as far away from him as possible, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, nice instinct and nice read to come off his line. Ramirez has that one poked from behind on Evans. Evans still with it and picks up the scraps. Spajak cuts off the pass. Here's Waugh. Out to Roberts. Roberts has some space on this right wing. Got numbers in the box for Ohio State. Roberts cut off again from Ramirez. Now here's McCoy. And he loses possession as it was a trailing Roberts there to win it back.
Yeah, we also saw Ramirez in there showing some nice defensive stops as well for the Falcons. It'll be interesting to see how well he does both sides of the ball.
So we'll see the changes coming in here. It will be Sawyer Wilbanks in for Aiden Batasic. Michael Badura will come out for Adine Ibrahimovic, and Dio Ramirez will come out for Bradley Popple.
Yeah, and Sawyer Wilbanks coming in for the Falcons obviously was Ohio first-team selection in his senior year. So definitely getting a shot here for the Falcons.
Yeah, also someone had to take his red shirt in his first year, not playing a single minute. And Ramirez, one of the few. Wilbanks will play that right wingback spot, similar to Batasic, as Popple gives it away. Whistle blown back. Popple goes to the left wingback spot. And Ibrahimovic, he is all types of similar profile of Trace Terry up there in terms of size. He's bigger than Trace Terry, 6'3", nearly 200 pounds. And he'll be alongside Tyson McCoy, and McCoy also a similar profile to Painter, like we mentioned before. But Ibrahimovic right now has got to earn his way back into that starting 11.
Yeah, and he did pick up a goal in the preseason against Dayton, which is something that we didn't see a lot of different players scoring for the Falcons this season. So it'll be nice to see if he can try and pick that up now that, assuming he'll be playing in the fall.
We're almost trying to leave that one for Wilbanks. We couldn't do so. Be a throw in for Bowling Green for Xavier Sims. With about 8:10 left remaining here in the first half. It'll be a long throw on the way here for Bowling Green.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we haven't really touched on too much is how similar these two teams are.
Sims throwing in the box. Popple gets the second header. Peacock with it. Still Gus Peacock. Ladundo gets around it. Saavedra steps in with it. Gets around. That's really nice work there, but it's going to be a Buckeye throwing on this far side, near side.
We've talked about how many Falcons had to take their red shirt last season because there were so many upperclassmen for the Falcons that were doing good, such as Bennett Painter and Trace Terry. But it's very similar to the Buckeyes as well. And both teams kind of an underwhelming 2025 season.
Yeah. And both these teams combined for just 11 wins. That was not enough as what they both did in 24. Bowling Green had 12 and Ohio State with 16.
Yeah, I don't think either of them expected to have that rough of seasons.
And both missing out on their conference tournament. Obviously, Bowling Green missing on the Missouri Valley tournament and Ohio State the Big Ten. Throw in here from Andre Roberts. Under 7 minutes left to go. One into Chisholm. Christensen steps in and wins that one, and then he wins a foul. Evans shots him down. Christensen wanted to go quick to hold this one up, and it looks like it's going to be a free kick here, right out in front of the Ohio State Buckeye bench.
Yeah, and Christensen were wanting to go quick. It might not even have been that he wanted to go quick. It might have just been that he wanted to cause a little bit of commotion. He tends to be a little bit of the jokester out there.
You have Tyson McCoy along with Rios on this free kick. And it will be McCoy. McCoy floats it to the back post looking for Wilbanks. It's headed down from Ohio State. Ibrahimovic on the strike is blocked. And Wall will just clear it away. Back to Christensen. Christensen will float it. Peacock flicks it up. LeBite gets his first head on it. Evans still with it.
Yeah, and you had brought up how similar Ibrahimovic looks to Terry, and I really just saw it there on that cross into the box. Definitely looked eerily similar.
Throw in Warschmidt and Buckeyes deep in their territory. Now he'll give this one to Roberts, and our referee will tell him to go back. He was inching up a little bit too much. And Arneson is open way on this far side, no one around him if Ohio State can switch it.
Yeah, and it's something that if you get over there, I don't know if Gio would be able to get back in time to even put an attempt out.
Here come the Buckeyes now. Oladundo comes away with it. Hauled out Baumgartner. Baumgartner gets it. Here's his left wing. Here Arneson guarded by Wilbanks. Arneson clips it into the back post looking for Chisholm over Rio. Still Chisholm puts a strike on goal, and it's parried away from Gio, who spilled it initially, but was able to cover up and make another save.
Yeah, and if you want to look at the biggest storyline through this first half, it's been Enzo Gio getting those saves for the Falcons.
Ohio State's had the attempts on target, and Chisholm's had a couple. We'll see if Jason Ball comes in the second half, which is what they've been doing this point in time. Here's Wall. Back to Roberts. Still Andre Roberts. Roberts in the box. Cross blocked from Rios. Still in Roberts. And he couldn't find a Buckeye, and it's out to the Falcons.
Yeah, and you take the assumption that Jason Ball is coming in the second half just because it is the spring league. You're trying to get as many people reps and figure out who plays where. But Enzo Gio was a great outing in this first half.
Ramos, long ball looking for Popple on this left wing. Here's Bradley Popple. Puts up, gets on his right foot. He keeps the ball in play. Saavedra, Christensen. And there's no one on this left wing that Christensen wanted. So go all the way back to Peacock.
You know, Lucas, Popple's a great last name. I just have to say. I feel like it's fun to say.
Former Air Force Falcon. Falcon to Falcon.
Heck yeah.
Christensen to Sims. And the Wilbanks one-time pass, Ibrahimovic. Here's Sims looking for an option. No one pressuring for Ohio State. Just about 3 minutes and 18 seconds left. They look to go long. And McCoy picks it up. Now it's going to be Popple. Here's Wilbanks. Wilbanks gives it to Saavedra. Now Christensen. Christensen floats it all the way to the far side. Here's Wilbanks. Saavedra gets it back to Sims. Now Christensen. Saavedra again. Here's Wilbanks. Just moving the ball for Bowling Green, though, was a lot more clear than it probably was during the season, even in terms of just passage of play in the midfield.
Yeah, and I know that we've talked about how a lot of these guys maybe haven't gotten to have time together, but it's more that they haven't gotten time together on the field. They've had a lot of time in practices, I'm sure, seeing as they're all kind of from that second string of the fall, being able to get a shot on an actual in-game experience that might also have to do with it.
Sims was looking long off of Ibrahimovic. That was a lot of quite a few pass sequence there for Bowling Green, but nothing could pay off from it. As Popple checks back to win this one. Popple again, Saavedra. Saavedra looking long for McCoy. Nice ball clipped. Worshman wins another header.
Yeah, and similar to what he did in the fall at Cochran Stadium against the Falcons, doing it now for the Buckeyes.
Missouri Valley tournament team as McCoy is way offside, trying to track down that ball. Down to a minute 30 left here. Overall, though, would you be satisfied for Nichols and the Falcons?
I think you would, because you've seen the Falcons take a lot of the possession, and Enzo Gil's done a great job in goal. That's really all you can ask, because win or lose, it's all about getting better in this spring league. That's all that really matters.
Indeed it is. Playing against some of the best teams in your country, in your state, rather, and in the country, if you consider with Akron and obviously Ohio State. A couple years ago, Marshall. As there's a Buckeye down the midfield, that's Nick Skubis.
And as soon as we say that, he does get right up. Looks like he's going to be the one taking the penalty, or whatever you would call this.
Free kick here, and it'll be taken back in play for Baumgartner. Baumgartner puts it up. McCoy tracking down on Roberts. All the way back to McLaughlin. McCoy is tracking. Ohio State stay with it. Under 20 seconds left in the first half. Ibrahimovic will hold the ball. Ibrahimovic will go back to Peacock, and it looks like this first half will finish how it started, and it'll be locked at zeros. Ohio State probably better of the chances. Bowling Green better of the possession and some of the opportunities, as Warschmidt will just clear us away in the Bowling Green net sky. And that's how the first half will come to a close. Falcons and Buckeyes locked at zeros, and Enzo Gio made a handful of big saves during that first half.
Yeah, he definitely did. And like I mentioned a few moments ago, definitely the storyline so far, Enzo Gio getting multiple stops against a Buckeyes offense that, even though they didn't have too much of the possession, they made worth of it when it happened, when they had their shots. They had decent ones, and Enzo Gio was just able to gobble them right up.
We'll take a quick step aside. We'll recap the first half, along with give an update on the men's soccer program. We'll bring you the second half action between Bowling Green and Ohio State. Here for college spring league action, you listen to BGSU men's soccer right here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Hi, my name is Emma Stransky. I'm a winger for BGSU women's soccer. My 4 favorite animals are ferret, because I have 2 and they're the cutest things ever. Falcon, because we're BG. Fox, because Chris Fox, our coach. And then a flamingo, because I think that they're pretty.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media takes pictures for nearly all BGSU and Bowling Green related events throughout the year. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to check out thousands of photos and all the content.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
I guess I called AA because alcohol didn't work anymore. Drinking used to give me a sense of meaning in life. I called AA not knowing what to expect. Certainly not cheerfulness, but that's what I got. People had humor. They seemed to be at ease. I hung around. Now I feel much more comfortable with myself and the people around me.
Visit aa.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting.
This hour of programming on WBGU is brought to you by BG Falcon Media. This student-run organization has been bringing multimedia coverage to Bowling Green State University and its surrounding communities for years. With content in print, audio, and digital, they are always coming up with new ways to engage with the students and Bowling Green residents. For more information about this organization, you can find them at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook. BG Falcon Media, creating, producing, and publishing independent student content.
The Zig Zone, Falcon Media Sports Network's weekly radio show dedicated to BGSU athletics, has a new segment. Make sure to tune into the show every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. to listen to the one-on-one segment, where Holden Ruck will interview a key figure in BGSU athletics.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
AA made all the difference in my life. I noticed that most of the goals I had as a kid were slipping by. I didn't feel like the person I hoped to be. After all those years of drinking, I really didn't know myself. When I was out there drinking, I was always looking for the next great party to make me feel all right. With AA, I found a better way of life. And I feel good in my everyday life, even without a drink in my hand.
Visit aa.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Start your day with WBGU FM and Early Bird Oldies. Tune in to Northwest Ohio's community radio station weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. for classic hit music from decades past. Enjoy all the golden oldies you remember and stick around for local community news and entertainment with The Morning Show. Early Bird Oldies, broadcast weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit rain.org, that's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
Hello, my name is Reko Badurov. I play for the BGSU men's soccer team, and these are my Falcon 4 breakfast items. Number one, I'd say, is eggs. Just good protein, good way to start off the day. Also really like waffles, just so good. You can put chocolate chips, whipped cream on it, it's amazing. Same thing with French toast, love like the cinnamon taste to it. And then I'd say yogurt too. Yogurt and granola, can't go wrong with that. So those are my 4.
Join us for the World Music Show Sunday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM. It's music from anywhere but here. Listen on air or stream it live at bgfalconmedia.com. WBGU 88.1 FM, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
All right, thank you. Halftime here at Cochran Stadium, Bowling Green and Ohio State locked at 0. Lucas Kleinmeyer and Noah Seeley alongside with you here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Noah, and while we're in spring league action, I'm curious to hear your takeaways from the fall of 25. Bowling Green going 5-8-4 and 1-4-2 Missouri Valley Conference play and missing the MVC tournament. Definitely not a successful fall what they wanted. And Eric Nichols talked about that a little bit last week against Ashland.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it right there, Alder. It's very similar to what the Buckeyes had. It just was not the season anyone was expecting. I mean, it would be one thing if the Falcons weren't really pushing to try and win that championship the year prior and just wasn't able to get it done right now. And it's just unlucky for them that some of their best players were up on that older side, and then you had people like Bennett Painter who hit the transfer portal. So they're coming in almost with a completely fresh start in the spring league and the fall of 2026. So it'll be interesting to see how they go through learning everyone and seeing where everyone plays this season.
Well, it seems like there's just a lot of unknowns. You only have one goal returning from last year with Saul Rios, with Terry and Painter both gone, and you have most of your midfield, but you also still don't really know who your number one keeper is. Anyway, coming this year, Gio did look good in the first half, but now you're going to have Jason Ball coming up here in the second, but it just seems to be a lot of unknowns, really, and I think you would, if you're Nichols, you'd like to figure that out before the start of the fall, really.
Yeah, and that's something, you talked about the goalkeeping position, that's something that was even in question during the season last year. You had Enzo Giobi in, and you had Jason Ball take reps. They both played decent during the fall, and they're both playing well so far through the spring league, so it'll be interesting to see who gets the actual start come fall.
What's the one thing you want to see from not only the second half, but mostly just the spring in general? Is there one thing with this team that you would like to in order to feel more confident heading into next season?
Well, we touched on it a little bit ago. I want to see some people score. Mm-hmm. Trace Terry and Bennett Painter were the only two consistent goal scorers for the team. So having someone like Michael Bedurov or even Diego Ramirez, Tyson McCoy being able to get a couple into the back of the net would be ideal.
It will be ideal as well. We'll see if it is those two, or if it's maybe an Ibrahimovic, or if it's someone else on the roster. Or maybe it's a transfer that we don't know of quite yet, or maybe a freshman. But we'll take a quick step aside here. We're just about 4 minutes away from second half action between Bowling Green and Ohio State men's soccer. You're listening to BGSU men's soccer college spring league action right here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
My life was going downhill fast. Everybody was on my case. Now, I kept hoping that life would change real soon. I knew drinking too much messed up my life. A friend suggested I check out AA. It worked. I found myself in an AA group. Finally, I've got my act together.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Bowling Green women's soccer continues spring league action with an exhibition game against Oakland at Cochran Stadium on Saturday, March 28th. Tune into the broadcast with Falcon Media Sports Network's Noah Seeley and Jacob Kopass at 2:45 pregame and 3 p.m. for kickoff on Falcon Radio. Streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. Your home for all BGSU athletics news and updates.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Ready for second half action here at Cochran Stadium between Bowling Green and Ohio State for the second college spring league game of the spring for both these programs. And the last one here at Cochran Stadium before Bowling Green is on the road to Akron and at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus. Lucas Kleinmeyer, Noah City alongside with you here on WBGU 88.1 FM. And not many chances really in the first half. They were far and few, but a lot to Ohio State. But Enzo Gio made a couple big saves. And now we have Jason Ball now in that start for Bowling Green in the second half.
Yeah, and that's something that we all expected. Enzo Gio had a great first half, but you got to see what your other goalies made out of. They split time in the fall anyway, so might as well give them both chances in the spring.
So the second half is underway. Ohio State will be in the red, going from left to right on your radio dial. We're in all red. Bowling Green going from right to left. It is the same starting lineup for Bowling Green that started the game. You have Sims, Peacock, Rios, Saavedra, Christensen, Ramos, Patasic, Ramirez, and Badurov and McCoy. McCoy trying to get this touch through. Badurov trying to get forward, and it was tackled out of bounds there from Olorunto.
Yeah, and Lucas, the sun is almost fully set here in Bowling Green, and the lights are on. It really feels like a Friday night soccer game here in the fall.
Because it is.
It is. Except it's in the spring. That's the only difference.
It's technically spring now, right?
Yeah, I think it was the 21st of May. Or of March, sorry.
Wow. I don't know what they're in. Baseball season's got you all mixed up, which is fine.
It does.
Be a throw in for Ohio State here on this far side.
I also didn't know what a free kick was a few moments ago, so clearly I'm in baseball season.
It's a baseball team that did come from behind and get a win against Northern Illinois today, 5-4.
Yes, they did. I actually hadn't even checked that yet. You just broke the news for me.
Good preparation. There's Ramos flicking this one on. That's the nutmeg Christensen. And we'll switch it all the way to the left wing for Ramirez. Ramirez to Tyson McCoy. Top of the box, moves it forward, takes a strike. It's blocked. Picked up from Saavedra. Ramos now Batasic. There's Ramos now. Ramos trying to get around his man. Puts a cross, floated into the box, and dealt with away from Ohio State. Kirsten just lays off to Peacock, who was a little bit behind the play. Now hooks in across to the right wing, looking for Ramos. Saavedra trying to redirect that one. Just can't do so.
Yeah, and I think the duo of Ramirez and McCoy are going to be two names that you hear a lot in the fall. And it's good for them to get a little bit of chemistry here tonight.
Ramirez one-time pass to Ramos. Here's Badurov. McCoy trying to get through, and that was a good tackle from the Buckeyes. Now here comes Ohio State back the other way. The cross is blocked off the chest of Sims, and the goalie back to Jason Ball.
Yeah, and Jason Ball getting his first touch here for the Falcons tonight. Going to look to have as similar as a matchup as Enzo Gio was.
Here come the Buckeyes. Here's Arneson. Arneson around the right wing floats it. Peacock will clear that one away. He was trying to leave this one off to Christian Baumgartner. He's going to start in the second half after playing towards the end of the first.
Yeah, and I think that's head coach Eric Nichols just trying to figure out who's going to play where and when. Just trying to figure out who meshes with who.
Here's Warschmidt trying to switch the point of play. Gets it to a Buckeye. That flows one over, looking for Arneson. Peacock heads it down. They shouts for a handball, not called. Or referee signals head.
Yeah, and a lot of those Buckeyes really thought that was a handball, but clearly everyone else did not agree with that.
There's only one opinion that matters, and it's hers. Ramos, that's a heavy tackle there. That was Olorunto there on the far side of Ramos. He kind of just got shielded there from behind, and he stays down Ramos. And they'll stop the clock with 41 minutes 09 left.
Yeah, just a rough hit over there by the Falcon bench.
So Ramos is a little bit slow to get up, but looks like to be all right. And he'll get up and walk his way off. And Ramos is, him and Gio, the only Brazilians that have eligibility left, but also stayed from last season. You remember Giovanni Suarez and Kyle Gisquetto, two transfers Bowling Green brought in last season. They played their final year of eligibility, and they were one and done. Those are two starters for the Falcons for majority of the season. Christensen winning the ball. I get this one to Peacock. Ramirez going to keep that one in play, and it'll be a Buckeye throw.
During that quick little timeout, I did see Ramirez and McCoy kind of talking through what happened down there on that left side, and that's what you want to see if you're head coach Eric Nichols and the Falcons, just seeing your young guys talk it through, trying to figure out what went wrong on that play.
Here come the Buckeyes on the left wing. That is Phil Damien there on that left side, gets a touch in, and then it's just cleared away up in the air from Sims. But Durham gets a touch, and then McCoy, and he's offside. That could have broke well for Bowling Green and McCoy. A little bit frustrated there. He's been offside a lot, but that's also just the things you get with a young striker just entering his second year, and he's a speedy striker, has a lot of pace, and he's going to need to time his runs perfect. Just couldn't do so there.
Yeah, and he's eager to score, to say the least. Even though it is the spring league, anything hitting the back of the net is going to feel nice for a player.
Throw in here, right by the touchline, right in between the two sidelines. Ptasic headed up for Ohio State. Hurge putting a clean touch, and Ramos just clears it all the way out to McLaughlin. McLaughlin plays this one short for Warschmidt. There'll be a pressure for McCoy. They'll boot this one long, and it goes out of bounds. And I think you're seeing there's some of the spring league, one, the form they're in, but also just the playing out of the back from both these teams haven't been the cleanest. They've elected to hit the long ball more times than not. And you're seeing Ohio State kind of do so here.
And I think that's just more of trying to get your game plan together. Maybe you don't have it all figured out yet, which makes sense. You are in the spring league. It's not even your season yet to fully know what you're going to do every time you touch the ball.
Here come the Buckeyes now. Arneson floats in the box, cross along the deck there, and it's right into the hands of Jason Ball. There's a couple Buckeyes in the middle, but pass was not angled correctly, and Jason Ball has to make his first save.
Yeah, and you just mentioned first save of the night for Ball. He had a few touches there beforehand, but kind of getting into that groove like Gio did with those saves.
Sims looking for Badurov. Offside flag goes up. Now, the second time the Falcons been offside in the matter of minutes. Buckeyes will reset.
Yeah, and you keep mentioning about how neither team really knows exactly what they're doing, and I think that's kind of where the possession is gone towards the Falcons just because they have been a little bit more sound with that.
Here's Arneson cross floated towards the top of the box. The shot is blocked. Shots for a handball, and that one is given. So penalty kick coming up here for the Buckeyes. They're going to say it hit off the hand of Sal Rios. It was a strike taken from the left wing. I didn't quite see who struck that one from the Buckeyes. It might have been Cole Evans. But regardless, the penalty kick coming up for Ohio State.
Yeah, and it looked like Sal Rios was trying to make the case that it hit him in the shoulder, but she said that the hand was up there as well, so that's what it's going to be here.
Isaiah Chisholm will be the one to step up to the penalty kick spot for Ohio State. So the former Kentucky Wildcat might have a chance to get his first Buckeye goal in the spring league, unofficially.
Unofficially. Close enough.
Officially unofficial. So Jason Ball talks with the linesmen, and we'll play a little bit of mind games.
Definitely a lot of mind games that go on over there in the box, kind of similar to what Enzo Gil did over here when he charged at Chisholm.
So here's Chisholm, a little bit of pushing and shoving. On top of the box is Arneson and Rios. So a chance for a 1-0 Buckeye lead, potentially with 36 minutes left here to go. Whistle blows. Right foot of Chisholm. Steps up and puts it down the middle. Ball dove to his right with power and pace right down the middle. And Chisholm and the Buckeyes have a 1-0 lead with about 36 minutes left.
Yeah, and that shows how crucial those handballs are, especially when it's in the box like that. Really, the Buckeyes have had the better chances, but Bowling Green's controlled the pace of play so far today and getting it done there off of a handball.
He's won a handful of transfers for Ohio State this spring, coming from Kentucky. And he's done really well, really the entirety of the game, his hold-up play. He's had a couple of really big chances for Ohio State. He was a 2025 All-Sun Belt second team for Kentucky. Played 17 games for the Wildcats, 16 starts. Second on the team with 6 goals on the year, and now starting his Buckeye journey as a sophomore. So 1-0 Ohio State here with about 36 minutes left. Christensen plays his ball long. I got his knee nicked there in the grass. Chisholm puts his out to the foot. Damien.
We haven't really talked about it yet, Lucas, but decent crowd out here at Cochran Stadium on a Friday night.
Definitely, indeed. Definitely colder for a late March game, and still just trying to get out of the cold weather here at Bowling Green is McCoy pressuring a Buckeye. That was Olorunto.
The thing is, for these soccer fans, the end of the fall season also tends to be quite cold, so they're used to it.
Here's Hurge. Arneson, left-footed shot. There curls on net, and a good save from Jason Ball.
Yeah, and Ball getting his feet back under him there after the penalty shot. Gives himself a quick save.
Ball rolled this one out to Sims. A look long for Badurov. Badurov still couldn't get that one on. Hurge, who's all the way back between the two center backs, to pass his ball out of the back. The Buckeyes, though, with some numbers, a 3-on-3 if they can hurry. With some speed, cross into the box, all the way up to Arneson, and Peacock there first to get it. Baumgartner stops up with the ball there with Ramirez still with it. No whistle called yet. Here's Arneson. Trying to cut that one on his favorable left foot. Stays with it. Now Bowling Green now seems to try to get their foot back on the ball here after this Buckeye goal.
Yeah, and Ramirez out there having a lot of hustle, which is exactly what we saw in the first half and what we want to keep seeing.
Cross in the box, not dealt with initially from Bowling Green, still alive for Ohio State. Arneson takes a shot that's blocked off of Ramos, and then Ramirez will dump it away. Jacob Masonoff was also inside the 18, head coach of Brian Masonoff, head coach for Ohio State. Tasting all the way to the far side. He'll just clear it away. It's been all really Buckeyes in this past couple minutes after that penalty kick goal from Chisholm.
Yeah, and just completely opposite of what happened in that first half. Really seemed like the Falcons controlled the pace of play, and now the Buckeyes just taking over that after they took that lead.
For Nichols, Noah, would you make any other changes, or would you stick with this current setup that you have on the field?
Well, I think I would debate about making a switch, but at the end of the day, it's not about winning the game. We've talked about this. It's about figuring out who's going to play where and what works best. So if you want to see how this works, you got to see how it works.
Sims, that pass well telegraphed from Hurge, and he just couldn't keep that one in play, a loose touch, and he goes out of bounds.
Because as nice as it would be to say you beat the Buckeyes at home, it's not as nice as saying, hey, we made it into our conference tournament. Hey, we won our conference tournament. And I think that's kind of Nichols looking at the bigger picture here, since it's not the fall.
Yeah. Ball to the top. McCoy trying to retain possession for Bowling Green and try and get their foot back on the ball as Rios has this one off to Peacock. Peacock looking long for Ramirez. This one floated. Ramirez stays with it. Now picked up from Badurov. Here's Michael Badurov. Has McCoy to his left. Badurov puts McCoy inside the box. Still ties to McCoy. Foot to Badurov, and he's offside. And Badurov struck the ball after the whistle was blown, and usually that can result in a yellow card, but they'll come back, and that's another frustrating time of a Falcon just being offside.
Yeah, that trio of McCoy, Ramirez, and Badurov all getting touches there, and almost looked like it was a good start for the Falcons to try and pick up their first goal tonight, but that's something that we'll see more throughout the rest of the spring league, the few games that are left, and heading into the fall, those three.
Picking up the ball there was Falcon. It's a late challenge, and we'll see if it results into a card. I didn't quite see who that was for Bowling Green that took a tumble. It might have been to Tasik. It wasn't.
There will be a yellow card received for the Buckeye.
Trying to see who that is for Bowling Green that's down. I think that might be Saavedra. And indeed it is, and it's back up to his feet. It seems to be okay. But a free kick chance now for Bowling Green, and it could swing the momentum in their favor if they can capitalize off this one.
And again, similar to the corner kicks, it's something that Falcons are going to have someone new kicking over here to see if maybe Tyson McCoy on this back left side is able to get something into the goal.
Yeah, Batasik and Rios. And whistle is now blown. It will be Rios again. Rios, long ball into the box and is covered up there. That was Gus Peacock coming up for that ball, but McLaughlin will cover it up.
And definitely looked like the goal was to get that to the backside of McCoy and just didn't have enough oomph to get it there.
McLaughlin played a handful of games in the 24 season. Only played just a few last season. He wasn't their first choice keeper. Now again, the number 1 shirt this spring.
Yeah, and that could be something for the Buckeyes where might just going back to comfort there. He played during that 2024 season a little bit more than the 2025, like you mentioned, so maybe they need to look at him coming into the fall.
Sims gets tackled late and is starting to get a little bit more chippy as now a yellow card will come out. And we'll see once he walks over to see who that is for the Buckeyes. I believe that might be Joel Damien. Indeed it is. Damien will pick up a booking. Just a late challenge there on Sims.
Damien being one of the few non-Ohioans on this Buckeyes roster, but outside of him, the other ones that aren't from Ohio aren't from the United States. You have a few from Norwalk, Denmark, England.
Well, it's a Buckeye team that has the ability to reach those from pretty much across the globe. And you've seen that from Bowling Green as well, but I say the ability to pretty much get anybody anywhere, both recruiting-wise, but also NIL funding and just money-wise as well. Foul there, one there from Badurov, right in front of the Bowling Green touchline. It'll be Aiden Batasic on this throw-in. Here is Badurov. Badurov gets around his defender, Badurov to the touchline. Badurov, that's a great tackle. Olorunto there, sliding challenge to keep that one in play and able to avoid the foul. Still alive, though, for Bowling Green. This near side. Ramos keeps this one inside the box. Ramos stays with it. Goes down the box. Referee says get up. Batasic trying to keep this one in play. Late challenge, and their Buckeye goes down. No foul called. Ramos stays with it. Double team from a couple Ohio State players and able to earn a throw-in, and it's definitely picked up the intensity a little bit.
Yeah, the intensity's picked up, and the Falcons have had multiple attempts in the box, but nothing really as powerful as they had in that first half.
There'll be a long throw-in from, I believe, that Xavier Sims. Was this one in the box? It's flicked on, still alive. Tyson McCoy puts a strike on goal, and it's parried away from McLaughlin. Right at the top of the 18, McCoy. Definitely the best chance of the night for Bowling Green, and a great save from McLaughlin.
Yeah, like you said, definitely the best save of the night and best attempt from the Falcons. And even though it didn't go in, something to see that it's nice that McCoy got his foot on there and gave it a good attempt at the goal.
McCoy caught all of that. The best chance of the night for Bowling Green results in a corner. This one's still alive, and a foul going to be called on Diego Ramirez as Aiden Batasic puts it in the back of the net, but the foul is already called. Went over the back of a Buckeye.
You know, Lucas, I wonder if that's similar to basketball, when there's a foul called in basketball and someone shoots the shot afterwards and it almost gains them a little bit of confidence. I wonder if that's going to help with Batasic, seeing it hit the back of the net.
Arneson, now Hurge with it for Ohio State. They'll suck up this one along the back line. Still with it, Ohio State here on this far side. And it looks like Bowling Green is going to strike. No, it's going to be for one of those moments as Ramos comes crashing in from behind, and we get a foul.
Yeah, and it looked like that could have been a possible moment there. Just an untimely foul.
So change coming back in. That is Niall Wall, who will come in next stoppage for Ohio State, or we'll see if he does now. Now he will.
Yeah, not too many substitutions coming in at all in this game. Just only 7 total, 3 from each team in the first half, and that's the first one for the Buckeyes.
Ramirez, the first step. Baumgartner looking to play along. Good pressure being provided for Bowling Green. Ramos stays with it. Let's turn back over, and it's just a sloppy foul from Ramirez. Bowling Green had them wherever they want them. Now Arneson comes away with it.
Yeah, and you've seen a little bit of those sloppy penalties coming from Ramirez back-to-back times now. Not something you really want to see.
Arneson gets it to McCoy. McCoy takes a tumble. No foul called. A bite for Ohio State comes away with it. Badura, Cerveja trapped down from behind. It'll be a foul and ward for Bowling Green.
And we've talked about how big, I would say, Chisholm is. And it's just something that happens to just make a difference in the sense of people are going to call those penalties just because he's that much bigger than the other guys.
Well, it's like what we saw with Trace Terry for his 4 years was he didn't get judged the same as the others. He got called for a lot of fouls that probably wouldn't have been called if there are others, but it's just the way it's been. There are a couple changes for Bowling Green. That's Will Banks coming in for Ramirez and Ibrahimovic coming in for Badurov.
Yeah, and in that same sense, you're going to get called a lot more fouls, and you're also going to get calls less on you. When someone tugs on your jersey, someone gives you a little bit of a shoulder, there's not much you're going to be able to do about it. You're going to have to fight through it. And we saw Terry do that for 4 straight years here.
Indeed, we did. As Sims looking to go over the top for Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic trying to bump off his man, McLaughlin. I was trying to play out of pressure. They do so very nicely. Saavedra, a good step in. Here's Christensen. Get out to Sims. Heavy first touch there. But taken back, Patasic. And you got a more target in the box now with Ibrahimovic on. Sims in, looking. Ibrahimovic touches it down McCoy, and it was just a bit too far. The flag stayed down. It was nicely brought down for Ibrahimovic to put down the pass on McCoy.
Yeah, another good shot for the Buckeyes to try and get another shot on goal and just unable to capitalize there as McLaughlin's just gobbling up anything that comes his way.
Here come the Buckeyes once more. This is going to be Jacob Mazanov. Or Schmidt under some pressure there off that pass. Just has to boot it up in the air. Tasic for Ibrahimovic. No foul called. And now they will blow it back. So a late whistle.
Yeah, extremely late whistle there, Lucas. I think everyone in the entire stadium was a little bit shocked that wasn't called a little bit sooner.
Well, it looked like he kind of took his right arm and kind of pushed him down to the ground, but we're resume play. Long ball to top. Sims rejects this one out. It's tracked down here from Worshman, who just punts it with the left foot all the way out of bounds.
The intensity has increased without a doubt, Lucas. We talked about it earlier, but even since then, it has stepped up.
Well, it's still 1-0 Ohio State. About 21 minutes and about 30 seconds left here at Cochran Stadium. Here's Jason Ball conceding a goal coming in off the penalty kick. It's picked up here from Herge.
You know, and I think one thing that head coach Eric Nichols is probably talking about to his players is there's going to be times where you're down late in a game and it's only one goal and you have to be able to fight through that. And I think he's probably looking at this as a learning opportunity to say, here's a shot. The game does not matter in the sense of fall league. So give it your best shot to try and tie this game up.
Ramos gets it up to Patasic. The pass was just a bit behind him. And it's covered back up here for the Buckeyes. They'll switch it along. Chisholm falls down. His goal is the difference so far in this game off the penalty kick spot. His first as a Buckeye. Ohio State with a lot of possession here so far in the second. Here's Warschmidt. Warschmidt through ball. Arneson has this one through. Clips it into the back post. Jason Ball comes away to meet it. Open goal. It's a 2-goal lead for the Buckeyes. Jacob Mazanoff, the son of Brian Mazanoff, coming in off the bench and getting the goal to double the lead, 2-0 Ohio State with about 20 minutes left.
Yeah, and Jason Ball made a great save off it, punched it out, but just left the goal wide open, and not much you can do there.
Not much you can do there, indeed. As it was a great finish from Mazanoff there, just tucked into the far right netting, and twice as nice for the Buckeyes. And a couple more changes coming in. Andre Roberts comes back in for Ohio State for Baumgartner, and looks to be a few more. Cole Evans also coming back in, and it's Ohio State team that hasn't given a whole lot of quality chances up for Bowling Green and looking to extend their streak here in the spring league and move up the standings.
Yeah, and I touched on it a little bit beforehand, but now being down 2 goals, it's looking more of a learning experience for the Falcons, trying to figure out how do you come back from a deficit. Because we've talked about it all broadcast. It's a team that hasn't had a lot of experience on the pitch in the MVC. So being able to learn how to come back from a deficit, especially 2-goal deficit, because that's something that happens quite a bit, being able to do so is huge.
Here's Sims, long ball over the top, looking for Batasic. Batasic one-time ball through McCoy, and he got a final touch. And Bowling Green cuts the lead in half. Tyson McCoy, his first goal at Cochran Stadium off the pass from Aiden Batasic.
Yeah, and that's the type of energy the Falcons are going to be looking to have here in the fall. McCoy gets his first goal of the spring league.
He'll actually go down for his second. He got that one against Michigan. And in a similar fashion, too, just a one-time finish off the cross. It was from Batasic. The first and is now Batasic again. It was a great ball flight in and a nice finish from someone they're probably going to rely on a lot to score goals in the fall.
Yeah, definitely is going to be someone who's going to have to pick up the workload of Terry and Painter.
So 2-1 now Ohio State, 9:40 left, and an instant response for Bowling Green. They're only down by now 1 goal. Saavedra, they say he got all ball. Ramos gets it out. Here's Wilbanks. Passes a little bit under hit. Peacock, Christensen. And here's Wilbanks again. They'll cycle this one around the back. And reminder, if it's tied, the both teams will earn a point, but we will go to a PK shootout to determine an extra point. Here's Wilbanks across again the box, looking for Ibrahimovic. No one crashing on the back side. Batasic made a late run. Could have been an instant response for Bowling Green to tie the game up at 2 apiece if they could have done so.
Yeah, and that's exactly what head coach Eric Nichols was looking for the Falcons to do, be able to make that quick comeback and almost able to tie it up quickly there.
Here's Hurge. Buckeye moving in, and the cross along the grain of Mazanoff was deflected off Rios and goes right into the hands of Ball.
Yeah, and Ball has had a little bit of struggle, more than Jill has in goal. Obviously, the first one hard to do when you have a penalty kick coming your way, and the second one deflected at once and just left the net wide open.
Rios goes along the line for Sims. Sims will get this one back to Jason Ball. And Rios will miss-hit that pass as it bounced up a little bit. Bowling Green back on the prowl, and that's McCoy providing some pressure. McLaughlin towards Schmidt. Nice cut inside to get McCoy to fake out. Nice fighting tackle there. Wilbanks win back the ball. McCoy to Ramos. Peacock will put his foot on this one, and got 5 players up right now for Bowling Green. They're all along the back line. There's almost no midfield, really. So Bowling Green getting aggressive here, trying to get that game-tying goal.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like we've mentioned so many times, they're learning different ways, different formations that might work, and having 5 guys up there might make the difference.
Sims, no one pressuring him on the far side now. Looks to go long. Ramos making the run. It's headed down. Ibrahimovic couldn't get the second ball, but they'll get a throw in here for Bowling Green.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't talk about is Patrick McLaughlin letting up his first goal of the day. Well, it's been a pretty good outing by him, just unable to stop that one that happened.
So it'll be a long throw and coming up for Bowling Green again. It'll be Sims. Sims goes long. They're down. McCoy takes it on the bounce and sails this one into the parking lot, if you want to say, here behind Cochran Stadium across from Missouri Field.
Yeah, and
parking grass.
Parking grass. Parking, whatever you want to call it. Close enough. I do think that is the right shot there by McCoy, even though it did go high. They haven't gotten the best looks against this Buckeye defense, so just taking any shot you can get to try and tie this game up is key.
Long ball over the top. One from Sims. Ibrahimovic trying to track it down. Good turn here for Ibrahimovic. Out to Wilbanks. Bullwings cross into the back side, not clear convincingly. Ibrahimovic, and he puts it over the bar. He had it wide open. Top 18, he leaned back, and he couldn't even put that one on frame.
Yeah, and he knows he had a good shot on there. Very upset about not keeping that a little bit lower. Still unlucky there. Still nice to see him get a shot off, though.
Well, he's had himself a couple good looks. Last week against Ashland, he had a couple of really good opportunities. Again, just couldn't put it in the back of the net. And we'll see if there's another one for Bowling Green. Again, with 15 minutes left here at Cochran Stadium, if they tie, they go to a PK shootout, and then both teams will get a play for an extra point. But we'll see here. Roberts checks this one down. Here's McCoy now. McCoy with some space. Here's Tyson McCoy, and a good cutoff there from Melintundo.
Yeah, and again, this Buckeye defense just staying consistent and preventing the Falcons from really getting anything going. Any consistent shots going up against the goalkeeper.
Long throwing in Peacock. Peacock again clips this one in, looking for Ibrahimovic. Headed back in, and then dealt with again from Ohio State, Christensen. Everyone kind of bunched in between. Here's Ramos. Ramos to Wilbanks. Wilbanks will try to find Saavedra, now does, and didn't want to take Roberts on. Sims looks long on the top for McCoy. McCoy, good touch to bring it down in front of goal. Trying to get that one across the face to Ibrahimovic, but couldn't do so.
Yeah, and that being another duo that could be seen a lot in the fall between Ibrahimovic and McCoy. Would be nice to see them get a little more connection here tonight.
The first header was looking in the path of Patasik. It's out of bounds and be a Buckeye ball, and it's really been all Bowling Green really since McCoy instantly responded after Ohio State went up by 2.
Yeah, and in that first half, it seemed like Bowling Green really had the possession, but now it's been pretty 50-50 in this second half, even though the Buckeyes do have 2 goals.
Here's Wilbanks all the way back to Rios. Peacock gets this one to Christensen. Christensen, Ramos. Just playing along the back there. That's an interesting pass all the way to Sims. He had to bring it down.
Yeah, and we've talked about this formation being really interesting. You have 4 of those guys up front now, 5 coming up as Patasik, and only 3 guys back. It's very interesting.
Roberts headers right to Ramos. Here's Ramos. Ramos will just try to take a strike on goal, and it curves way wide.
And again, we've talked about how there's really not too many shots that wouldn't be liked, just to see who can get one in there, and that one just a little bit far right.
Just a little bit. McLaughlin will take his time, but we'll have another Buckeye sub coming in. Coming out will be Luke Lattimore for Ohio State, and coming back in will be Arneson, senior forward from Copenhagen, Denmark. Same place with Mads Christensen, both from Copenhagen, Denmark. Here come the Buckeyes looking to add a third. Looking for Hurst. Christensen deals with it, and we'll just clear it away. Wilbanks will just kill the playoff. Despite no one being behind him, just wanted to dump the ball off.
Yeah, and that was the smart play there by Wilbanks, just getting the ball out, letting the Falcons reset. Obviously, they've been very top-heavy since those 2 goals were picked up by the Buckeyes, so now they're back on defense, try and push a couple guys backwards.
Wilbanks will come out. Bradley Popple will come in. The Bowling Green in the left wing back spot.
Lucas, I really hope Popple gets a goal at some point. I want to say his name.
Yep, Cincinnati, Ohio native. Played at Moeller High School. Was the Ohio Gatorade Player of the Year a few years back. Former Air Force Falcon, played 1 year and transferred. Roberts will fire this one all the way to the left side. Damien shuts it down. Hurge looking for an option. I'll get it back out to Damien on the far side. Still with it here, Damien. Working on a couple Falcons. Now we'll play it back. Ohio State, if they get a third here, you can pretty much wrap this one up with about 10 minutes left. So 2-1 Ohio State. All goals coming here in the second half. Cross in the box looking for Arneson. Not cleared. Top of the 18. Flicked on right in front of Rios, who just punts it away in the direction of Ibrahimovic on the far side.
And while the Buckeyes possibly picking up a third goal here would almost seal the deal against the Falcons, we did see them pick up that first goal and then almost score a second one back-to-back. So it's not completely out of the question, but would definitely be a hard task of under 10 minutes.
Arneson gets the header. Ball comes away with it. He wanted Popple there to take that one on in stride on the far wing, and he wasn't making the run. He was more peeling out. Ramos shuts it down. Just push from behind. No foul called. Ohio State back on it here in midfield. This one flicked on in the direction of Hurge. Takes a couple Bowling Green deflections there. Peacock couldn't clear it. It went back to a Buckeye. Miscommunication. That shot on the ground there is not going to be trouble. That was Nick Skubis.
Peacock with a quick fall, they're able to recover and bounce it on out of there. It could have been real scary if he fell down and that ball was heading straight for the goal.
Under 9 minutes to play here at Cochran Stadium, 2-1 Ohio State over Bowling Green. Here's Jason Ball. Long kick up into the night sky. Rios here to Peacock. Ramos comes away with it. Looking for Ibrahimovic. Could have collect there. Here's Sims. Sims, McCoy, Popple. Two working on it. Robert stays with it. No foul called. McCoy. Ramos, good touch around Warschmidt. So with the Ramos, cooks up across to the back side. Patasic heads the deck to the direction of Popple. Roberts, nice to wrap his foot around that clearance. Christensen. Arneson just got around him. The two Danish players going at it.
That Patasic to Popple connection almost paid off there for the Falcons. Had a shot in the box, just unable to connect.
Sims cuts off the long pass. Patasic. What's the space here for Bowling Green? That's 7:35 left here at Cochran Stadium. Sims fires one to Ibrahimovic. Bit too strong, Ramos. Ibrahimovic again. Slides it through for Popple. There's Popple on the left wing. Popple cuts inside his favorable right foot. Popple. And the Ramos. Still with it, Ramos. Ramos works his way through. Slow, one dribble too many. Still with it, Bowling Green. Joshua Saavedra. Nice clip pass. Patasic, one-time ball. Ibrahimovic could get it cleanly. And Tyson McCoy ties the game at 2. His first collegiate brace. Falcons and Buckeyes are tied at 2 apiece.
And that is exactly what the Falcon faithful are happy to see. Tyson McCoy picking up 2 goals. His third during the spring league so far. And game is now tied up with 7 minutes left.
3 goals now in his 2 spring league games, and the still freshman forward who has yet to play sophomore collegiate season coming up big. Bowling Green down 2 and come back 2 apiece, and now we got about 7 minutes left here to see if we'll have a winner. If not, we'll be going to a pony kick shootout. Another goal that comes from the right side of Patasic. Ibrahimovic couldn't get cleanly. McCoy there, just right place, right time to pounce it in the back of the net.
Yeah, and we talked about how this is going to be more of a learning experience. And now even if win or lose, I'm sure head coach Eric Nichols is happy that the Falcons fought back, picked up 2 goals after being down.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So now 7 minutes left, and quite the second half explosion. There's 4 goals, and Bowling Green coming back from 2 goals down. Here's Rajko Budurov, who's checked back in this game for Ibrahimovic. Sims over the top. Warschmidt has it right back to Badurov. Badurov cross. And I was looking for McCoy at Popple on the backside as well. Urged. They want a handball, not called. Here's Sims. Badurov. Badurov looks to maneuver his way on the right side. Saavedra. McCoy. Got his first touchdown. McCoy again. Ohio State looking to break. Here's Mazanoff. To Roberts. Popple tracking him back on Roberts. Popple on Arneson. Arneson crossing the box and Chisholm. Couldn't read that right. We're gonna redirect that one on frame, but they're saying it was last off a Falcon. It'd be another corner kick coming up.
Yeah, and Jason Ball was looking to get that ball back up quickly and get the Falcon offense going. Seemingly McCoy really, ever since the second goal and all game, actually has been very energetic, trying to get the Falcons to keep going, definitely stepping into that leadership role.
Corner kick coming up for the Buckeyes. Floated to the back post. On the line, it was cleared. I believe that was might have been Gus Peacock during the line. Jason Ball got a touch. It didn't cross the line, and it remains 2-2.
Yeah, and that Falcon defense picking up where the Buckeyes, kind of as soon as they drop the ball defensively, the Falcons pick it right back up.
2-2 in this young Falcons team. A lot of players just unproven in the stat category have come from behind on a Big Ten opponent that has had their number in the spring league the past couple of years, and just years in general in Ohio State. The Buckeyes, though, still not done. Still 4:40 left to play here at Cochran Stadium, tied at 2 apiece. This one will last off a Falcon on the far side. It'll be a throw-in for the Buckeyes. They're going to try to put this one in quickly, but before we do so, that, I believe, is Baumgartner saying, I'm done with these gloves, and just decided to take them off.
Might have been the difference. You never know, Lucas.
Rios punts this one up, looking to get the fresh legs of Badurov. Badurov, that's a great flying challenge there. Olaronto has been fantastic for the Buckeyes this game.
Yeah, and along with that entire defense by the Buckeyes, really had a good 75 minutes played, and this back 15 has been pretty rough for them.
Sims, this ball long over the top. He's looking for Ramos. It's going to go out of bounds via Falcon throw on the far side.
Yeah, the Falcons looking to pick up their third unanswered goal here.
It's going to be quite the comeback and quite the memory for Bowling Green. Long throw in here for Sims. In the box looking for Popple. Not cleared, alive for Bowling Green. It's floated in, and then McLaughlin got his right glove on it. He didn't spill a rebound. He's looking to go quick. Popple on Roberts. Christensen just will stop this counterattack.
Yeah, and a quick pickup there by McLaughlin in the goal. Even though he has struggled in these past few moments, picked up a much-needed save there.
Here's Arneson into the box. Arneson goes down. Referee says get up. They clear it off of Arneson. It's still alive for Ohio State. And now Badurov will come away with it. Gets out to McCoy. McCoy down the line, Badurov. Badurov works his way through. Roberts puts in a challenge. Couldn't get. It was about under 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to play here at Cochran Stadium. If it scoreline remains tied, we'll have a PK shootout coming up. Ohio State, though, on the attack. Long cross. Floated in. Arneson. Defended by Peacock. Arneson cross to the back post. Head on goal! It might be a winner for Ohio State. And it's headed back into play, and the Buckeyes, who surrendered a 2-goal lead, now have a 3-2 lead with just under minutes of play. And we'll get a confirmation to see who scored that, but Bowling Green did all that hard work to get back in the game, and Ohio State there with a late goal.
Yeah, and Jason Ball had the right angle there on the right-hand side, just unable to really get over there towards the left. Just a great goal by the Buckeyes to take the lead.
I have Martin McLaughlin for Ohio State, number 21. We'll see who it is, but might get confirmation here post-game.
No matter who it was, an impressive shot by the Buckeyes.
Also could have been Masonoff's second goal. I actually do believe it might have been Masonoff for Ohio State, so that'll be a brace for him as well. So 3-2 Buckeyes. A minute 43 does Bowling Green have another late goal in them. McCoy, Ramos, trying to flick this one up. Werschmidt just has to clear this one away.
Yeah, and Werschmidt trying to pick up another win in Cochran Stadium. Done so with Evansville, now trying to do one with the Buckeyes.
Ramos puts it in. Peacock. Here's Christensen. Saavedra floated to the backside. You know, Rios keep this one in play. He can, but it's right into the hands of McLaughlin. So down to a minute 05 left, and that might have been the last attack for Bowling Green. We'll see if they have one more in them.
Yeah, and you'd expect a whole lot of keep away here from the Buckeyes. Just trying to hold on to this possession.
Buckeyes wanting a foul. Rios comes away with it. Now 45 seconds left to play. Christensen all the way here to Bradley Popple. Here's Popple, Saavedra, and Christensen, McCoy. McCoy trying to slide this one through. Badurov in the corner battling, and it will be Ohio State throwing 20 seconds left, and that's probably going to about do it, Noah.
Yeah, and Badurov definitely trying to put a little bit of fight in there for the Falcons in that left corner, just unable to come up with the ball.
So Bowling Green went and battled back, down 2 goals. A Tyson McCoy brace almost got them through a PK shootout, but Ohio State with a late goal to seal the victory and the 3 points for them in the College Spring League. And what was an explosive second half here at Cochran Stadium. 5 goals, and the Buckeyes come on top 3-2.
Yeah, and overall, I think both teams should be happy about their performances. They saw some good. They saw some things they need to improve on. But the Falcons able to pick up a little bit of steam down 2-0, get those 2 goals. Buckeyes just have the most terrific goals tonight there. Get the 3-2 win.
Biggest takeaway, probably Tyson McCoy.
I would say so. I would say so.
Indeed, that's how this one will wrap up for Bowling Green. They will play the Akron Zips one final time for at least the first 3 games of the College Spring League, and then they will play at historic Crew Stadium against whatever place they finish in the North Division against the South Division. So we'll see here, but that will do it for us here at Cochran Stadium here for this College Spring League action between Bowling Green and Ohio State. The Buckeyes victorious 3-2. So for my broadcast partner, Noah Celia, our board operator, Holden Ruck in studio, I'm Luis Clymer saying so long from Cochran Stadium and have a good evening.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.